Welcome to Nestra's PE Transformer page. To get started, we first need to select the functions we want to transform. The table on screen shows every function in your executable. We want to first transform the main function, so we'll filter for it using this dropdown. Because the main function is created by the user, we'll select the User option. The other function types were injected by the compiler. Now that we've filtered for user functions, we'll search for main in the search bar. This will filter through functions using their label. Now that we're down to only 42 options, we can safely conclude that this is the main function we're looking for. You can further confirm by checking the function size. Next, we'll use this menu to configure the transformations we apply to the selected function. But before we continue, I'd like to select a few more functions to transform. You can quickly select groups of functions by holding down left mouse button and dragging. To deselect functions, you can use right mouse button instead. Clicking on an already selected function with the usual left click will also deselect it. Now that we've selected a couple functions, we're going to take a look at which protections we can apply to them. The top section of this menu configures protections applied to the functions you have selected, while the bottom section configures the entire executable. You'll also notice that at the very top, there's a list of functions that we have selected. First, let's take a look at bogus control flow. In a nutshell, this protection measure injects fake code into your functions. This makes the function logic harder to reverse engineer when your app is being analyzed. Our options for this protection measure are None, Standard, and Enhanced. These are pre-configured settings that regular users can utilize for simplicity. If you'd like more control over your configuration, you can click the Show Advanced Settings button. Clicking the button reveals an advanced configuration screen for power users. You can read the meaning of each option by hovering over these question marks. While I change values, you'll notice that both the simple and advanced views are synced. The simple view is essentially just 3 pre-made configurations that get applied to the advanced settings. If we modify the advanced settings to where it does not match any of the 3 pre-configured simple options, then we'll see a custom configuration warning with none of the buttons selected. If we select any of the 3 buttons again, then the custom settings will be overwritten with the usual configurations. If we look at the tags on the right side of the table, we can see which configurations each function has. Naturally, we'd want to apply different configurations to different functions. To demonstrate this, I'll apply Enhanced Bogus Control Flow to the already selected functions, deselect them, and then apply a different configuration to a few other functions. You'll notice that both groups of functions have different tags based on their configurations. So far, things have been simple, but what happens if we try to select 2 or more functions that have non-matching configurations? Well, as you can see here, the options which are overlapping appear as mixed, while still allowing us to edit them. If we edit a mixed option, every selected function will have that new option applied to it. This system may seem intimidating at first, but it's very useful once you learn it. With this knowledge, you can go mix and match different configurations with ease. Before moving on to the module configuration, I'll quickly explain what constant encoding does. Constant encoding is exactly what it sounds like. All of the constant strings and integers in your binary get encoded until they're accessed in memory. Moving on to the module configuration, things get very simple. These options apply to the entire executable, meaning that your selected functions have no effect on this section. At the moment, we only have one module configuration option, but more will be added over time. You're now ready to click the Transform button and wait, as our backend processes your binary. Once the process is done, you'll get a notification and a download will begin for your transformed executable. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we hope that you enjoy using Nestra.